biology, this is Miss Satterley. I'm going to talk about the energy flow in living things PowerPoint. First off, sun. Sun is where all energy comes from. Sunlight has UV rays that are sent to Earth, and it is what helps keep our planet warm. There are organisms on our planet that use those sun rays to actually make food. Plants is one of them. They capture light energy and convert it into chemical energy, and then that chemical energy is stored in food. And they do this by the process of photosynthesis. So, because of this, we call the sun the ultimate source of energy. Sun rays are absorbed by pigment molecules that are found in different types of organisms, including plants, algae, and cyanobacteria. Since plants are able to use sunlight in order to make food, we call them autotrophs. Auto means self, and this word essentially means self-feeding. Autotrophs are organisms that harvest energy from sunlight or chemicals. We also call autotrophs producers. Producers are the organisms that first capture sunlight, and again, that can include plants, bacteria, and algae. Producers make energy storing molecules, which we use as food. They do this through the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process that converts light energy into chemical energy. It's performed by autotrophic plants and algae as well, and it uses pigments to capture light. Next week, we'll talk about the process of photosynthesis and the different pigments that plants use to capture sunlight. There's also a process called chemosynthesis. Chemosynthesis is very similar to photosynthesis, but instead of using light, it uses chemicals. It's a process that converts inorganic chemical energy into organic chemical energy. It's performed by special autotrophic bacteria that can either be protobacteria or methanogenic archaea. They are found in the dark regions of the oceans. They are located by deep sea thermal vents that create heat and other gases. So CO2 or carbon dioxide or methane is converted into organic compounds using a compound called hydrogen sulfide. And that is how they perform chemosynthesis. So instead of using light energy, they use heat energy to perform this process. Now we also have heterotrophs. This is a concept we've already talked about earlier in the semester. Heterotrophs are organisms that must consume their own food. So if we look at the picture here, the sunlight is captured by the plants, which are autotrophs, and through photosynthesis they make food. And then the heterotroph, or the rabbit, is eating the plant. We also call heterotrophs consumers. Consumers are organisms that obtain the energy to build their molecules by consuming plants or other organisms or other animals. There are different types of consumers: primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and even quaternary consumers. When we get into ecology next semester, I will talk about the different types of consumers, but right now I'm just going to do primary and secondary. Primary consumers are organisms that eat producers, or organisms that eat plants. We also call them herbivores. Herbivores are animals that eat plants. They contain enzymes in their gut that helps them break down cellulose. These bacterial helpers live in the gut and allows herbivores to digest food properly when it comes from plant sources. Secondary consumers, are the second consumer, are organisms that eat other consumers, and we call them carnivores. Carnivores are organisms that eat other animals, and they are not able to digest cellulose. Herbivores actually have longer digestive tracts that allows for more digestion, while carnivores have shorter digestive tracts because they can't break down plant sources, and meat it's easier to break down than plants. Secondary consumers can also be omnivores. Omnivores are organisms that consume both plants and animals, like this raccoon. Cellular respiration is the process that heterotrophs use to convert chemical energy in food into energy, or ATP. Cellular respiration is not only performed by heterotrophs, but it's also performed by autotrophs. and it is the process animals use to produce energy. We will talk about cellular respiration in more detail before the semester is over, and we'll look at the different processes such as glycolysis, the citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. My next slide, I want to talk about decomposers. Decomposers are organisms that cause decay of other organisms that release inorganic nutrients. It includes bacteria and fungus, such as mushrooms. Decomposition releases nutrients back into the environment, making it usable for other organisms. Inorganic nutrients are used by plants to make food, and decomposers return dead organic material back into that inorganic component so it can be recycled. Cellular respiration and photosynthesis are both examples of oxidative reduction reactions. These are chemical reactions that pass electrons from one atom to another. Then they use this as protons. Protons are hydrogen atoms that have lost the electron and just have the proton. Oxidation is the loss of electrons, while reduction is the gain of electrons. We will see the different compounds that are reduced and oxidized in both photosynthesis and cellular respiration next week. This is the end of this lesson. If you have any questions, please let me know, and have a wonderful day. Bye.